What's good, basketball family? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, you already know what to do. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment right now because today's story is juicy. We're talking about MiLaysia Fulwiley, a player who started SEC play catching heat, catching doubt, and catching criticism, but is now starting to look like a perfect fit at LSU just in time for a must-see showdown with South Carolina. The same conference that tested her early might have just unlocked the best version of her game. This isn't just about box scores. This is about growth, adjustment, and timing. From early struggles in LSU's first two SEC contests to settling into a real role after 6 games, Fulwiley's journey is flying under the radar, and that changes today. So buckle up, because we're breaking down what went wrong, what changed, and why this South Carolina matchup could be her biggest statement yet. If you love deep dives, real basketball talk, and stories the mainstream isn't telling, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. MiLaysia Fulwiley arrived at LSU with noise already surrounding her name. Expectations were loud, opinions were louder, and every dribble she took in purple and gold felt like it came with a microscope attached. When LSU opened SEC play, the conversation around Fulwiley shifted quickly. The stats weren't popping. The highlights were quieter than usual. And after the Tigers stumbled in their first 2 conference games, critics were ready to label her transition a struggle. But what often gets lost in the rush to judge is context, and growth rarely announces itself loudly at first. Fulwiley wasn't just joining a new team. She was stepping into one of the most demanding environments in women's college basketball. LSU under Kim Mulkey is not a program that eases players into comfort. Roles are earned. Trust is built through defense, discipline, and execution. For a guard whose game thrives on creativity, freedom, and instinct, the adjustment was always going to take time. Those first 2 SEC contests told a story that was easy to oversimplify. Fulwiley looked hesitant at times, forcing shots she normally makes, passing up others she usually takes without thinking. Her minutes fluctuated. Her rhythm never fully settled. On the surface, it looked like she was struggling to fit. Beneath the surface, she was learning when to attack, when to defer, and how to be effective without hijacking the offense. LSU didn't panic. Mulkey didn't panic. And Fulwiley, to her credit, didn't panic either. As the SEC schedule moved forward, small changes began to show up. Fulwiley started picking her spots more carefully. Instead of trying to score early, she focused on defending, rebounding, and pushing the pace. Her passes became sharper. Her off-ball movement improved. She stopped trying to prove she belonged and started playing like she already did. By the time LSU hit the 6-game mark in conference play, the difference was undeniable. Fulwiley wasn't just surviving minutes, she was impacting them. Her confidence returned in flashes at first, a strong drive to the rim, a pull-up jumper in transition, a defensive stop that led to a fast break bucket. Then those flashes turned into stretches. Then into games. What stood out most wasn't just the scoring, though that came back too. It was how comfortable she looked operating within LSU's structure. She wasn't forcing isolation plays. She was reading defenses, attacking mismatches, and trusting her teammates. When the Tigers needed energy, she provided it. When they needed control, she showed restraint. That balance is what separates talent from reliability, and Fulwiley was clearly crossing that line. LSU's offense benefited from it. With Flau'jae Johnson and Michaela Williams drawing defensive attention, Fulwiley found space to exploit. She became a release valve when possession stalled and a spark plug when the game needed a jolt. Her ability to score in bunches without monopolizing the ball gave LSU another dimension they didn't consistently have earlier in conference play. Defensively, her growth mattered just as much. Mulkey demands guards who can pressure the ball, rotate on time, and fight through screens. Fulwiley embraced that challenge. She took tougher assignments, stayed engaged, and stopped gambling unnecessarily. Those details don't show up in highlight reels, but they're the reason her minutes became more secure. And now, as LSU prepares for its clash with South Carolina, Fulwiley's journey comes full circle. This isn't just another SEC matchup. This is history, rivalry, and emotion wrapped into 40 minutes. South Carolina represents the standard. The program that has dominated the conference. The team that expects to win every night. And for Fulwiley, it's also familiarity, players she knows, tendencies she recognizes, and an atmosphere she understands all too well. But this time, she steps onto the floor wearing LSU colors, carrying a different role and a clearer sense of who she is within her team. Earlier in the season, this matchup might have felt overwhelming. Now, it feels like an opportunity. LSU doesn't need Fulwiley to be perfect. They don't need her to carry the offense or chase headlines. They need her to do exactly what she's been doing lately: defend with purpose, attack decisively, and play free within the system. Against South Carolina's physical defense and disciplined rotations, that growth will be tested. Every possession will matter. Every mistake will be punished. But this version of Fulwiley looks ready for that challenge. What makes her story compelling isn't the early struggle, it's the response. Too often, narratives are written in January and never revisited. Fulwiley could have folded under the pressure. Instead, she adjusted, learned, and evolved. 6 games into SEC play, she looks less like a player trying to find a role and more like one who understands it. As LSU and South Carolina collide, the spotlight will shine bright. Stars will be measured. Coaching decisions will be dissected. And somewhere within the chaos of a marquee SEC battle, MiLaysia Fulwiley will have her moment, not to prove she belongs, but to show how far she's already come. And that's what makes this chapter worth watching. And just like that, it all comes full circle. MiLaysia Fulwiley's story at LSU isn't about a rough start, it's about how she responded. The SEC tested her early, the pressure came fast, and the noise got loud, but instead of backing down, she adjusted, learned, and carved out a real role on one of the biggest stages in women's basketball. As LSU gears up for that clash with South Carolina, this isn't just another game on the schedule. It's a measuring stick. It's a moment. And for Fulwiley, it's a chance to show that she's not just settling in, she's arriving. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Do you think MiLaysia Fulwiley is ready to have a breakout game against South Carolina, or will the Gamecocks slow her down? I want to hear your takes. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive, because we've got more SEC stories, more real hoops talk, and more must-watch matchups coming your way. Until next time, stay locked in, stay passionate, and we'll catch you in the next one.